Jaret Goes to the Movies is a free podcast made possible by Rich's lack of a social life, as well as our amazing supporters. For as little as $1 a month, you can access tons of extra content each week. Visit jaretgoestothemovies.com and click Support Us. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jaret Reddick. And this is a podcast. Jaret Goes to the Movies. Hopefully you have seen or heard one of my many musical endeavors. And if you have, then you know how much I love movies. This is movie commentary with no movie knowledge. This podcast is me and my friend Rich talking about movies that we like. But my name's on it because I'm famous. This is Jaret Goes to the Movies. Still. Okay, we're starting now.
I was 12 going on 13 the first time I saw a dead human being. It happened in the summer of 1959, a long time ago, but only if you measure in terms of years. I was living in a small town in Oregon called Castle Rock. There were only 1,281 people, but to me it was the whole world.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Jaret, and that soundbite ended abruptly. That was a hell of an edit there. I was in mid-drink of Miller Lite, and I thought you were going to play the whole thing. I don't know why.
That was the whole thing.
Did I say my name's Jaret? It's welcome to Jaret Goes to the Movies. This is a podcast where we pick a movie, and then we watch it, and then we talk about it. And that's it. Welcome to the show, as always, who is my left-hand man, my friend on most days, and someone who I've only agreed with 3 times in the last 2.5 years, Rich.
Hi.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good.
You're looking good.
Thanks.
Seriously. I like when you wear your UFC hat.
I do too.
Is that a thing? See, remember like the brands of like, like Everlast and shit like that, and like real fat dudes used to wear that stuff all the time.
Yeah. There's a lot of fat dudes wearing UFC
stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then wrestling stuff too. I noticed.
Me included.
Here's the thing: I've gained a bunch of weight, and I took my son to go watch WWE.
Right.
I was the thinnest person there. It was like I was setting the example for how to fucking eat. I was just like, no, only one order of nachos, and yeah, you can have a few beers or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. But everybody else is like,
Daddy, look at that skinny man.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was like. Just waiting in the line. I'm just like, and when it sucks because when you see a bunch of fat people, you can't help but like think fart sounds. When they bend over and shit. So like the whole time, it's just
he does that when anybody bends over.
Well, that's true. But especially when like someone of weight.
Right.
Bends, including myself. I don't leave myself out of
because he actually does it every time.
Well, as you've noticed, my wife Casey is here for the show tonight.
Hello.
Let's welcome her. And then maybe the new crowd favorite, Kiddy Corner Wil, is here this evening. Well, I don't know. I made that up. You're getting fan tweets and shit. So, yeah, it's good.
Sweet.
From Tim.
It's good.
From Tim.
Mainly from Tim.
Now,
he owes me.
Tim does love you. Like... Because he goes, we found our groove, and then Tim comments, that's because you got 2 super nerds on the show now. And it's like, what do you mean 2?
Me and Rich?
Yeah, I was going to say, me and Will.
Tonight's a very special night for me, because along with us here in the daycare, we have my Aunt Debbie and my Uncle Patrick, who are here. We're going to my dad's birthday party tomorrow. It's a surprise. He's turning 79. My mom is throwing the 79th birthday party because she thinks that if she tries to wait till 80, most of the people who are coming tomorrow will be dead. So here's hoping we all make it to 80. And how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Oh, very, very good. We had a great day today. We went to the mall as a family. Emma wanted to spend the day as a family, and it was raining this morning. Zoo was out. We all needed... Well, not everybody. The girls needed stuff from the mall, but we went to the mall. We walked around. It was great fun. We had a really good time. And then I took him to the Blue Goose, and we had a nice Mexican lunch. And then Patrick thought he forgot his glasses there, so we went back to get him, and he yelled at the girl. And they were at home the whole time. He didn't really yell at her, though.
I was going to say, what does his yelling sound like?
It sounds exactly like him talking, actually. I used to tell his kids that all the time. They have, like, the most mild-mannered children, and I used to tell them all the time, just like, did your dad sound exactly the same when he yells? Like, it's just, like, the same... Does it go up a little bit? I don't know, Debbie. Fill us in.
Well, it depends, because it could be in French, Dutch, German. It just depends.
He whipped out some Spanish on me today. He speaks Spanish better than I do, and I'm from Texas. I mean, I don't know what that means, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, You speak 4 languages?
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy. It's so cool, though. Like, that's a part of the European culture. Because even kids who go on to what they call college or secondary school in England end up learning 2-3 languages. And we're like over here like, I took 2 semesters of Spanish, freaking got a B, cruising my electives.
I took German, I forgot everything.
Dude, that's a hard one. It's really hard and also stupid? Latin. I don't get it at all. That one's hard.
It's not a living language.
I know, but it's what all the other Romance languages are based upon, so you would think you'd be able to get it.
Sure.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's supposed to be helpful if you go into like the medical field.
But why, if you're American and you speak English, why do you need to learn another language? Everyone else speaks English.
Actually, if you're an American and you're young and you want to make a shitload of money,
learn Chinese.
Learn
Yes.
Mandarin. Yeah, or the other Chinese language, whatever that one is. I can't think of it. But
Because they're the one country that doesn't learn English.
No. Actually, Japanese people don't really learn the English language either, except for just in Osaka and Tokyo.
Do they not get on the internet? Because the internet's in English. All programming is in English.
I don't know if that's true.
If you're a pilot or any kind of flight job where you have to interact, everyone has to speak English.
You're saying you feel strongly about English.
I'm saying I'm okay with changing to the metric system.
Man, you
I'm
just
okay with
jumped
changing
right
to
in.
Celsius. I don't care. Just everyone speak English.
Stop. Okay, first of all, stop where you are right there. And let's go back. Let's go back to the metric system.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, we're idiots.
Yes,
Right.
we are.
Like, what? We actually made school harder for our children who are already having trouble anyway. And it's like, we have every advantage. Just switch it to tens.
I was an engineering student in college, and we
solved education!
had to learn engineering in metric and in U.S. standard. It sucked.
U.S. standard's the worst. So
Did you have to do Common Core?
No, that was before Common Core.
You
All
probably
right.
wouldn't have made it.
So I agree with you on the metric system. What was the second one?
The Celsius.
That's
actually
right.
Okay,
Fahrenheit.
that's
But
metric
Fahrenheit's
system.
actually better anyway. But I would switch to Celsius. Basically, I would switch to
Why would
everything
you
that everyone
need
else
to
does.
switch to Fahrenheit? It's things at Celsius doesn't it just boils at 100, right? Like,
And freezes at 0
yeah, that's fucking easy.
for water.
Yeah, but I mean, what else are you boiling and freezing? Like, if you're like just a lay person.
There is a good argument for Fahrenheit, but I can't remember what it is. But anyway,
So, also-
I would be fine with
Good.
Celsius.
Okay, so we're not giving you. So we're giving you A and B. The whole English thing is stupid.
Yeah.
Why?
That's dumb. It was
Why?
the international. It's the international
Who
language.
are we
only
best
because-
friends with?
Who gives a shit?
Who are we best friends with?
Why wouldn't we learn?
Who are we best friends with country-wise?
France?
We're not best friends with France. Jesus
Who
Christ.
are we best friends? Who are we even friends with
We're
anymore?
best friends
Yeah,
with
nobody-
Canada.
nobody really likes
Oh,
us
stop
anymore.
it. I mean, be serious. Be
We
serious
are
for a second.
definitely not best friends with
Over
Canada.
the past 100 years,
We don't-
who
we
are we
just-
best friends with? We're Canada, UK, Australia, all the
I
English
think
speaking
Canada are like
countries.
you and Jarrett.
My point is,
Everyone in the British Crown.
my point is, language
Yeah.
brings you together.
Great Britain.
You're going to be better friends with someone who speaks the same language that you do
What if
than
you
you
speak
would if you don't.
the
It's a
international
separation.
language?
Why wouldn't you speak the most common language on the planet then, and we just all learn Arabic or whatever the fuck?
Chinese.
Chinese.
Because they don't run the
Are there
internet.
more Chinese, more people that speak Chinese than do speak Arabic?
Well, I don't think they all speak the same
Yeah, it's all
language.
Oh, see, I got it. It's a fucking, they're fucking spreading it out and shit.
I think everyone in China doesn't speak the same
There's
language.
two.
Well, there's no Chinese language either.
There's,
Oh, and the other one is 24-hour time. Everyone does 24-hour time except for us. We do AM, PM.
yeah,
We
I'm
should
for
switch
that.
to 24-hour
No,
time.
I like it. I like the AM PM thing. I like it.
Oh, you like the AM
Yeah,
thing?
fuck yeah. Just because I want to be a dick about something and I don't agree with the English thing, like but I don't know. Here's the other thing that everything should be open 24 hours a day. Everything. All job crisis.
Is that a non-American thing?
I don't fucking care. I'm just complaining about shit. But everything should be open 24 hours a day. Job crisis averted.
But I want to sleep. I want to sleep, Jared.
Why do you? Who's a shit? You're
There's
working
no law.
during the day.
There's no law that something has to close. They're closing because the business goes down.
I know, but it shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. We all need to expand our patronage to different hours of the day. For example, I wanted to take Casey's car to the body shop today, but I wanted to do it at 9 p.m. They closed at 6. That's fucking bullshit.
You should
They
probably
lost
talk
our
to.
business.
You should probably talk to doctors, nurses, and cops and see how awesome that is, or not awesome in this case.
No, Walmart employees.
Or
Yeah.
Walmart employees. Yeah.
Yeah.
7-Eleven.
I don't know, like doctors, lawyers, and did you think lawyers?
No, nurses.
Because that was
Doctors.
fucking weird.
Doctors.
My lawyers both work 2 days a week.
Yeah,
Programmers, you know what I'm talking about.
Mine works maybe once or twice a month because that's the only time I can get a hold of her.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. This week we are talking about the movie Stand By Me. We've got some new supporters. You heard it right before the show. If you want to go to Jaret Goes to the Movies, not pulling your suit. If you want to go to jaretgoestothemovies.com and click on Support Us for as little as $1 a month, you too can be a member of the winning team. We want to welcome Peter Fitzpatrick, Alec Martin, and colonblowband.com, who is now a $20 supporter, so they will be invited to the next Google Hangout. That's awesome. So,
and they're a producer on our website.
That's amazing. They'll all get the extra content every week. And last week, it was 2 hours of content from
2
Greece,
hours, yeah.
which includes a shitload of karaoke,
A lot of karaoke.
and just a lot of other stuff. So before we dive in, let's thank our producers from Patreon. David Murray, Ashley C., Sheila Ray Wonder, Wendy Croft, Diane Small, David Dooley, Big Chris Whitehead, Lucy Murray, Chris Holt, Rod on James, Eddie Weiss, and colonblowband.com. Thank you guys so very much for your patronage. And we'll talk a little bit more about the Patreon later. We're going to make a few changes on a few things and try to have some more interactive fun. We'll discuss that as we get into Stand By Me, 1986. After the death of a friend, a writer recounts a boyhood journey to find the body of a missing boy. So this is the first watch for me that I remember, and I don't know why, but I don't remember the newspaper headline being that, Chris Chambers, lawyer, dies in fast food stabbing death or whatever. But you sort of see him get the idea, Richard Dreyfuss being the actor that he is and can act with his face.
You think they cut that out of the TV one?
Maybe. I mean,
too gory or something?
Well,
Too
I saw
sad?
this at the movies.
Oh, okay.
So, but I think me and my friends went multiple times. But and again, it's like those things that you don't pick up on when you're a kid. Right. There's a shitload of that in this movie for me, by the way, just in the things that they talk about and whatnot. But I thought that was I think it's cool. You kind of he's sitting there with the paper and you see his wheels start turning and I'm remembering this time and let's get down to the idea.
By the way, this movie gets the narration seal of approval.
Okay, that's in my notes to ask you about that. So
Absolutely.
You liked the way that this was
this is
narrated.
how narration should be. Mm-hmm. He's a narrator.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, narrator.
Okay. Right.
All the other ones, not narrators.
They're naysayers.
That's right.
Okay. So you liked the Richard Dreyfuss narration.
Definitely. He's got a great voice and he's a great actor.
But it doesn't really go down to him. It's not the actor that you've had a problem with narration in the past. It's just the fact that of the content at which the narration is offering to the movie.
For Fight Club, I just thought, we've already gone through this a bunch of times. For Fight
sure,
Club,
but not everybody listens
wordy.
to every episode.
The Christmas Story, I thought the narrator was horrible.
He was so good.
He was horrible.
In the Christmas Story, so good.
Not good.
But I'm glad you liked this one. That was one of my things.
This was great.
And I thought when he adds to that, so we've talked about what I feel narration adds. Narration adds so much in just a few sentences that you could never accomplish
filling in the holes
in a scene that quickly, that cheaply, so it's like, hey, what I heard is Chopper sick balls is hilarious, but you couldn't have explained that had you not had the narration.
Right.
It'd have been like, I thought he said Chopper's sick balls, as he's running or whatever. Right. So not as good,
Where it's a problem for me is where the filmmaker did not intend to have narration, but the studio's
Are you talking about Blade Runner?
Yes, Blade Runner.
Yeah.
It's a classic example.
I've never seen that movie.
I actually watched it without the narration, and I had no idea what was going on. I was totally lost, and I hated the movie.
Oh, I thought it was beautiful.
So they've released it both ways, you're saying, and that the studio didn't quite grasp it, so they added the narration later.
Right. They forced them to add the narration.
Interesting. I don't care. I've never seen it. Okay, so the director is Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner from All in the Family, and gosh, he's done a bunch of great movies, and perhaps one of the greatest music movies of all time, Spinal Tap. Mm-hmm. Rob Reiner is responsible for that. So we were all surprised in our house to see that Stephen King was the writer of this.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Of a novel. So it's a novella.
Novella.
I didn't know you didn't know that.
I did know.
Oh.
But Patrick didn't know, and so when he...
Yeah, because it's not seemingly a Stephen King.
No, definitely
But
not.
I mean, like The Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption. He does a lot of
Yeah,
those.
I know.
The
But
Running
whenever
Man.
when you think Stephen King, you think creepy.
Yeah, right. That's what he's famous for.
What do you think when you think of Stephen King? Like, what's the first movie that pops into your head?
The first movie?
Yeah.
I don't know, The Stand or something?
See, for me, The Shining.
The Shining.
Yeah,
good
maybe.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't
Probably
really
It,
think
probably
of
It.
a movie.
Did he do it? Which is crazy because the whole clown thing that's happening right now.
Yeah.
By the way, I'll punch a clown in the fucking face. I'm serious. Like, I told Jack the other day. He goes, "Dad, so like, what if there's a clown?" I said, I will punch that clown in the face, have his makeup on my hand while I kick him in the nuts.
So you're going to run over to it?
I will. I mean, if he comes up towards me, 100%.
What if he has his hands up?
I don't give a shit.
Clown lives matter.
Do not.
Don't you?
What about you guys? Patrick, what's the first thing that pops in your head when you hear Stephen King?
It was The Shining for me.
The Shining.
Oh, yeah.
Deb?
I think The Shining.
Yeah.
Also, I was shocked that he had written or produced that movie last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, and I would have either said The Shining or Cujo.
You've never seen The Green Mile, huh? You told me that one time.
I've never seen The Green Mile, and I've never seen It.
Don't see it.
I
It's
feel like
terrible.
It you could probably live without seeing, but
It
you
is-
should see
it
The Green
is
Mile.
Now,
This
I know
movie
what The Green
with a
Mile
clown.
is. Green
Don't
Mile,
read it; it's so long.
Green Mile is where the big black guy is on death row, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Tom Hanks is in it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. So is Susan Sarandon, or is that Dead Men Walking?
Nah, she's not. She's not in that.
Neither.
Okay. No, she's on Dead Men Walking, I believe. That's the same premise. There's a guy on death row. It's the fucking same movie.
Oh, Sean Penn.
Yeah, same as the other guy.
It's not quite
So
It's not the same.
We'll give props to Reynald Gideon for the screenplay, and let's get into the actors. River Phoenix, fantastic performance by this kid, just way beyond his years as far as an actor, and so much emotion in that kid's eyes.
How old was he when he played it? Do y'all know?
13.
He was 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
How old was he when he died?
23.
So we've also got Corey Feldman, who sounds exactly the same as he does now.
Only now he's got sick beats.
Yeah, he does.
I think he has a higher voice now.
So he was in the Goonies. You know my favorite movie that he's ever been in besides this one is, I think, The Burbs.
I haven't seen it.
Freaking
I never
love
saw
that.
that.
We should do that.
License to Drive? No.
No, I didn't
I've
really
seen
like
it.
that one. Or there's the one that shows Nicole Eggert naked. It's like about an explosion or something. Blown Away. Yeah, it's got her naked in there. Jerry O'Connell, who gets the award for the dude who had the last laugh no matter what.
Rebecca Romaine.
He's now married to Rebecca Romaine. He's super buff. He was Johnny B. Good.
Nope.
And that's right, he was not Johnny B. Good. That
He was in Jerry Maguire.
No, but he was in a football movie.
Jerry Maguire.
Maybe it was Jerry Maguire.
I think you're right.
I think I'm
I
thinking
think
it was
you're
Jerry
right.
Maguire,
Yeah, you're right.
but
My
it definitely
bad.
wasn't Johnny B. Good, seriously. But, stick with me. And Kiefer Sutherland, who I thought was great. I spent the 4th of July with him one time. Little tiny dude.
Yeah.
But very,
Is
very
he
fun.
really?
Yeah, super tiny.
I've always figured he was
He's
really
the president right now.
Very fun to hang out with, though. Really, really good dude.
The Soul Survivor?
Designated survivor.
right, right.
Yeah.
Casey Simasco, who you reminded me that he plays the Billy in this, and he was in Young Guns with Kiefer Sutherland.
That's right.
Which is great. And then Gary Riley, who played
Summer School?
in Summer School, he played Dave. So Chainsaw and Dave in Summer School, which we're hoping to have Dean Cameron on the show.
So
very soon.
Let me ask you a question. Like, I look at all of these haircuts, and they all look pretty okay. I can understand that haircut. His haircut was ridiculous. It was really short on the top and really long on the sides.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, I think he was just,
What do you mean ahead of? That's a thing now?
high up.
Well, it's coming back eventually.
That's pre-mullet.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Like in 2025.
It's the clown thing.
Oh, it's the clown thing. You're right. My bad.
Richard Dreyfuss, again, was our narrator, and obviously he played the writer. John Cusack made a great performance in this. Popeye was actually in this movie. Did you know that? Popeye played Chopper.
Robin Williams?
No, he played Chopper. He was a dog, and he was in this movie. He did a great job. Also, we had...
I think you should all be nicer to Wil Wheaton.
The way I treat my colleagues... Wait, what?
I said you ought to be nicer to Wil Wheaton.
You mean Wil Wheaton?
Yes, Wil Wheaton.
Why are you saying it like that?
Well, I'm just saying you should be nicer to Wil Wheaton. Wil Wheaton seems like a nice guy.
Say wheat.
Wheat.
Now, say Wil Wheaton.
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 Hey, did you hook up with Whoopi Goldberg on the show?
All the time.
Was that Patrick Stewart?
Patrick Stewart was
I was
actually...
wondering why you waited to put him last.
He was on the episode of The Family Guy. They accidentally brought... Stewie accidentally brought the entire cast of The Next Generation into his house with some sort of crazy concoction. But he forgot Wil Wheaton. But he was on this whole deal where he would say, "Could you please get me some Cool Whip?" Anyway, I thought that was funny. I can't think about Wil Wheaton without thinking about that. So
I've heard people saying Wil Wheaton.
Wil Wheaton.
Like that before. I guess that's where they got it from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wil Wheaton.
So I can connect you to this movie.
What? I love it when you do this.
You
It's my
ready?
favorite part. Go.
Ready? Okay. So Stand By Me, starring River Phoenix.
Okay.
River Phoenix was in a very good movie called Sneakers.
Ooh, yeah. Good movie.
Dan Aykroyd was also in that movie.
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd
Was in Crossroads.
Crossroads.
Hey,
Actual movie.
this is my favorite
my
new
new
bit.
favorite bit,
Yeah, so we need a song for this. What do we call this bit? Connecting Jaret to the or
It may not need a song.
it needs a fucking song.
Inch degrees to Jared Reddick.
Maybe his intro should be, "I can connect you to this movie." 'Cause that's what he does.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Will connects Jaret to the movie.
But with a different melody, because that one's been overdone.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
It takes a lot of effort in research.
it seems like it.
If you would just use the IMDb thing that does that.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm doing it by hand.
So
I like your method.
I like the fact that, again, I like the fact that you love the narration. That was important to me. I was
Very
so
good.
happy about that.
Can I also say the acting by these kids is stellar.
God, I'm so glad you said that.
Stellar
So
acting.
I'm going to say this, and I said this in the pre-show, and sometimes I get a little confused as to what I say, because sometimes the pre-show is 45 minutes. But there is one scene in this movie that I think is poorly acted by these kids, and I'll point it out.
Okay.
But I just think they're perfect in every scene. Not only are they great when it's their lines.
It's acting like this from 13-year-olds that just... I'm like, how can you like the acting in The Outsiders? It doesn't even come close to this.
Sure, let's not compare it. It's apples and oranges.
But I got lambasted for not liking the acting. This is what I consider acting from kids.
Stick with Stand By Me. Different story, different direction, different set of circumstances. But I agree. I think even when the kid isn't having the conversation, like their reactions and things like that. For example, Gordy is upset and River Phoenix tells Teddy, go get some limbs. And he's like, okay. And, you feel it like, yeah, I'm not pushing it. Like, you're the leader. I'm going to go do this. I mean, it was everything. You felt it all. You really believed that Vern was this fucking fat kid who was just, clueless, but
He gets picked on, but they love him.
They love him.
Right.
So that's a great relationship. Teddy and Vern is one of my favorite. You have the two best friends with Gordy and Chris. Mm-hmm. But I think the Vern and Teddy thing is just as important.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're walking in the back and two for flinching and him just giving him shit all the time.
Right.
That's part of their friendship.
Yeah.
We all kind of either were that kid or had that kid around us.
You know what I was glad that they didn't do with his character, because I haven't seen this movie in so long, is whenever he came running up and he goes into the treehouse and he was very much Chunk from the Goonies. Like, immediately, the breath, and he had this thing, and they're all messing with him, right? And this whole big deal. And I'm glad they kind of did give him a real character and relationships kind of throughout the thing, because I kind of thought that's kind of what they were going to do with him, and I remembered it being a little bit more serious. So
yeah, they gave him. You're right. He wasn't just the laughable comic relief. He did funny stuff, but all of them did. That's a really great point. Like I think you do have that sort of chunk character in so many movies where, hey, it's a fat guy. This is hilarious. And yeah, it's kind of funny and scary watching him run across the train. But at the same time, that shit looked real.
Right.
It did.
I mean, it looked like he was, like, that little fucker is scared.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yep.
I'm so glad that you enjoyed the acting. I really did.
Let me just say this, though. As much as the acting was amazing, and I even think the cinematography was excellent, too. I mean, just the shots that they took was stellar. But, I mean, the movie itself, to me, was just kind of boring. I don't know. I just was kind of bored through most of it. Kind of like, are we getting to the next scene? Or what's going on? I would probably prefer watching The Goonies because it just had more excitement.
Yeah.
And I know that, this is a movie that was it 86, right?
Yeah, I mean, they weren't far apart. The Goonies was before this.
Yeah, I'm just saying but movies were a little slower paced 20, 30 years ago.
This movie was way more about relationships and growing up.
I get it.
Whereas the Goonies had those aspects of things.
Right.
But there was way more sub-story, way more subplot. You had 5 different things going on.
Subtext, yeah.
You had 5 different things going on. This was all about how 2 days in a young boy's life, and I really do think I know what this feels like, because I mean I remember this time in my life so vividly because it was very, very important.
Right.
It's how those 2 days that he sort of thinks about once his friend is killed kind of sum up everything, and about how life was and where it went, and where everybody was from and all of that. And think about like all of that they all dealt with emotionally in 2 days.
Right.
That's what that movie is about. It's
totally
not
get
about,
all of that.
Yeah.
It just was kind of boring.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's character development for an hour and a half.
Sure.
And that's what the movie is.
Right.
Man, love the, I sing all the time. I ran all the way home. And he starts to try to tell him what's going on. It's like, here's what happened. I ran all the way home. So good. I love it. Anytime you can interrupt anybody in song, fucking do it.
But speaking about songs, they played great music in there.
The soundtrack was
good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And in fact, I thought about it like during it. I'm just like, man, they had to have spent some money on this to get clearance for all these, because and all of them had. Did you notice that all of them had something to do with the movie? So like the way that they incorporated all of the songs into, like, it would start playing and then you would see them like boom, 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 and they're like dancing down the lollipop. I just thought it was really well done how they incorporated the soundtrack in and just gave you the vibe of that time.
Yeah, it was well done. The whole thing was well done.
Patrick and I were talking last night about the scenery and how beautiful that whole scenery was.
Portland Oregon, I guess, is so beautiful. I mean, this was supposed to be Maine, though, right?
No, it was
Portland, Oregon.
No, but it was supposed. The book was Maine.
Oh, was it?
Castle Rock, Maine. All of his stuff is Castle Rock, Maine.
Yeah.
But they, for some reason, changed it to Castle Rock, Oregon, which there is a Castle Rock, Oregon, which is weird. But yeah, Oregon is amazing looking.
The really wide shot of them when they're walking, and it just kind of follows them to about half the screen, and then then them on the railroad tracks walking away from you. I actually recreated that railroad track walking away scene, and we've used it in albums. Actually, it's in Bowling for Soup Goes to the Movies.
Is that it right there?
That's it. That's us with our arms around each other. But there's actually other photos on the internet with us walking away from the camera, and it's all based upon this. It's just supposed to show just a connection and friendship, and you're all connected in some way walking this journey down this railroad track or whatever. So anyway, it's a vision in my head, and it's nice sometimes to actually make those things come true.
You guys want to go see a dead body? Well, I was under the porch digging,
We all understood what Vern meant right away. At the beginning of the school year, he had buried a quart jar of pennies underneath his house. He drew a treasure map so he could find them again. A week later, his mom cleaned out his room and threw away the map. Vern had been trying to find those pennies for 9 months. 9 months, man. You didn't know whether to laugh or cry.
Here's the thing. This just hit me. Up until this point, I thought that this part was funny. If you can't remember for 2 weeks where you put the fucking penny, at least the general area, because he's all over the place.
I know, right?
It looked like a mole disco in there. Just they're all just popping up out of everywhere like a whack-a-mole sensation. But he had to have known at least the general area. And then why dig so deep? You know, like you're gonna. It drove me crazy.
I don't know. Think about it this way. Like, I can walk 3 feet and have no idea what I did with my phone in 30 seconds.
That's true.
And it could be in the house, in the car, at a restaurant.
In your pocket. Yeah.
He probably dug...
Literally in my hand.
He probably dug first where he thought it was, and then when it wasn't there, he's like,
shit,
oh, fuck.
Maybe it's over
Maybe
here.
it's over there. And your mind start playing tricks on you. Did you smoke as a kid?
No. So here's the thing.
Because they were puffing away up there.
So my parents decided, I guess probably when I was about this age, like 4th or 5th grade, my parents decided that they were posh. And so they would go and like buy these crazy like Cartier cigarettes in these fancy boxes, and they would just leave them out on the table. My parents actually had cigarette boxes, these wooden boxes that housed cigarettes. So like they were free if I wanted them. People would come over and smoke them or whatever, and I would like fake smoke every once in a while, but no, it really wasn't anything that ever appealed to me. I mean, I fake smoke now to make my friends laugh, but...
It seems like you were so concerned about what everyone thought about you when you were a kid, which is why you lied about your virginity and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So how did you get out of not smoking when your friends were smoking?
The same way that I got out of drinking, same way I got out of doing drugs, all that shit.
Be funny.
I would just be funny and or just say, yeah, you know what, I'm good right now or whatever. I mean, I tried to dip one time, I threw up. Again, I fake smoked. I'm not going to say I never did, but I tried a couple of times, but I really didn't actually inhale because to me, like that seemed insane. And just like the thought of alcohol seemed weird, and I didn't want to get in trouble with drugs, and so I mean, I don't know.
I used to take cigarettes, and then they go, "You want a cigarette?" I go, "Sure," and I take it and I turn it around backwards. I stick it in and ask for a light. They would just laugh.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, if you're funny, you can get yourself out of anything.
Yeah, my friends are little chain smoking weirdos.
We know. Oh my god.
But it always starts the same. It always starts from the kid that steals the cigarette.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, that's just it. My parents had stopped drinking when I was in the 3rd grade, so there was never any booze around. But they would go to Jamaica or the Bahamas and go on these cruises and shit, and buy all these crazy cigarettes. I think they were like Cartier. They came in these blue or red boxes. My mom normally smoked Vantage 100s. And I know that because you didn't have to be 18 to buy them back then. So if I walked up to the gas station to buy them with her, or for her, if I bought them for her at the drugstore, I could get a toy. If I went with her to the gas station to buy them, she would buy me a Playboy. So it was just like a walk. I'd take a walk with my mom. I'd come back with masturbation material. It's like the best thing ever, And I really didn't even know that I was into that yet, but it came quickly. Hi-oh! Ding, 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 ding. But,
it's weird that you're into older women now.
That goes so much further than you could even believe. It's more deep-rooted than you ever imagine.
In April, my older brother Dennis had been killed in a Jeep accident. 4 months had passed, but my parents still hadn't been able to put the pieces back together again.
Gordy, I got something for you.
This, my friend, is for you.
This is your Yankee cap.
No, this is your Yankee cap. It's a good luck cap. You wear that cap, you know how many fish we're going to catch?
How much?
Brazilian fish. And it looks good on you, too, just like that.
Hey, Mom, I'm going blind.
Hey, don't start with me, porcupine. Come here. Give me a hug.
So John Cusack comes in here as the greatest brother.
But he wasn't in the movie.
He was, though.
No, he's dead. He's not in the movie.
I
do that. I do this. When someone's dead in the movie, they're not really in the movie to me for some reason.
Okay,
it's
you
the
never
weirdest
saw
thing ever.
P.S. I Love You.
Yeah.
He was in the whole movie.
Well.
Why wasn't my brother that nice to me?
Do you love your brother?
I do, but I don't. He was never that nice to me, ever.
I don't think they were. This isn't real life.
Are
I
you
don't think
sure?
brothers are this nice ever.
Dude, it's so you don't really know, like, so there's this clip that it's just everywhere, you know, it's
Wrong kid died.
and so there's this movie called Dewey Cox, and it's about Johnny Cash, and Johnny Cash
I never watched it,
he
yeah.
halves his brother.
Right.
It's the worst case of halving that the doctor has ever seen, and it's just constantly
Wrong kid died.
and that's the theme of this movie too. Just like
Right.
in every like he walks up to me, he goes, I wish I wish you had friends like Denny.
Yeah.
Wrong kid died.
It should just be in there like that.
Exactly. I don't think you know this. Chris is not my only brother. I have a brother that died.
Oh my God.
He was older than Chris. He was a year older, I guess.
Okay.
He had complications at birth, so he lived for a few weeks, and then he couldn't breathe on his own and stuff.
Right.
But he died. Yeah, my mom was...
So you were like 10 or 11.
My mom was tore up for
I'm sure.
a whole year. Really, I think it's Chris is the only thing that kind of got her out of it.
Right.
Because she had him pretty quickly after that.
Yeah. And then he was kind of the baby after that.
Yeah.
I mean, like really the baby.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? That's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I forget about it all the time. I don't, because it's so long ago, but...
yeah. So
But I was watching the movie and I was like, oh yeah, I have a
he
brother
like
that died.
lived on the planet though. Like he has like he has
we went and saw him every day we'd go to the hospital and see him and he'd be in the little thing and he had red hair.
Oh my God, a ginger kid.
Mm-hmm. My brother has a red haired daughter. So it's in our family. Apparently I don't have it because I had kids with someone who had red hair.
Right.
And none of my kids have red hair. So
Interesting. Well, they're making a comeback. So you just never know. You make some more babies, one could pop out.
Yep.
They were supposed to be extinct.
Ed Sheeran changed that.
It's 45. I can see that. You got shells for it? Yeah. I took all that was left in the box. My dad will think that he used them himself shooting at beer cans while he was drunk. Is it loaded? Hell no. What do you think I am? Jesus!
So this is the kind of fucked up shit we would do when we were kids. Just, I don't know,
shoot Miller!
Steal knives and I mean, I'm certain that somebody brought guns out and shit, but like it was harmless. Like we weren't, it was just like this. Like take it for protection and stuff. And now, like, it's just different.
When you were a kid, did the pinky swear come after the swear on your mother's life swear?
Pinky swear is like only something you did with girls, I think.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
it just seemed weird. It's like pinky swear came after
swear on your mom's life.
Yeah.
It wasn't your mom's life, it was her good name.
That's
her good name.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That
but
makes
she
more
had
sense.
to go to hell, though, right?
Oh, that's right.
She had to. She
on
had
her
a good name,
afterlife.
and then she had to go to burn in hell.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't have to die to go to hell, but you're in hell, so it doesn't really matter.
Jesus Christ, this is complicated.
It is.
Yeah, we don't know that kid's relationship with his mom either, so.
The thing is, the pinky swear, and I swear. I don't know. I think we just had to swear to God. Like I don't even think we swore on anybody's lives and shit. It was like, you could swear to God, and like that was the ultimate
I just go,
thing.
yeah.
You swear, yeah.
I didn't even say that.
Hey,
Like, are you serious? Yeah.
You swear?
Yeah.
Do you swear on your mother's life?
Yeah, and we never did that. We were just
What?
it ended at yeah.
You were just like too far, man.
Oh, that's
Walk
just
off.
it,
Yeah,
huh?
it's like,
Yeah,
come on.
your fucking friends were lenient.
You a real asshole, you know that?
Your brother's not very polite, Eyeball.
Now, Christopher, I know you didn't mean to insult my friend.
I know I didn't mean to insult me. That's why I'm going to give him the opportunity of taking it back.
Oh, shit.
Take it back.
Oh, come on, man. Stop it. You're hurting him. Bastard, let go, man. Stop it, man.
Take it back,
cut it out.
kid.
Cut it out.
Take it back.
Okay, I take it back. I take it back.
I'm going to admit something. I was scared shitless of Kiefer Sutherland.
Okay, could it be because before the age of 30, he always looked like a vampire?
Well, this is before that, though, right?
I'm just saying, he looks like a vampire.
Yeah, I still hear the voice, like, regardless.
I was thinking, was he going to the other trailer to film Lost Boys after this?
I know.
Is that the same year?
I have no idea.
And it's the other Corey, by the way.
He just looks like a vampire.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just scared shitless of this
He
guy.
does.
And the thing is that I always wondered why, because I felt like I was the sort of the leader of my friend group, but I never snapped at people. I should have snapped more. I think I would have gotten a lot more done. You know, like, my friend group was pretty easy to control. It was, like, super easy. I was taught manipulation from an early age, and I feel like I just fucking had everybody on lockdown, but I just didn't snap enough.
Well, you weren't trying to get them to, like, burn people's eyeballs and stab people's children.
That's true. It was more like, hey, go clean out the fucking refrigerator.
Freaking out when he was putting that cigarette by the eye. It's like, is that how Eyeball got his scar?
I thought about that too, and I wonder if that's in the trivia somewhere. I wondered the exact same thing if that would, but that'd be stupid.
Why? I was never the leader. I was always hanging out with older people, so I was never ever the leader of my group of friends.
Really? So, what would your role have been? You were like a sergeant.
I was the second.
Like a corp. Oh, you a lieutenant from Greece?
Yeah, lieutenant. Yeah.
Okay, but see, that gets confusing as to who's the. Did we ever decide who the leader of the gang was?
No, it was Kinnicky probably, but
yeah,
I don't know.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Did he ever get his hat back?
I know. I hated that.
So I'm glad you brought that up.
I didn't even notice that.
Because the thing to me was he stole the hat, then he gave it to Chris's brother. Chris's brother wears it away, and they just go like. Even when
they lived together,
my brother's friends were being like the biggest dicks ever. I mean, after they hit me a bunch, they would at least give me back the hat.
Right.
You know? But this is a different time, guys.
Kiefer was hardcore.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
Yeah, I mean, he's a vampire.
He burned eyeballs.
Come on, Teddy.
No. I'm gonna dodge it.
Come on, Teddy, man. Get off the tracks. You're crazy.
Train dodge. Dig it.
Get the hell off the tracks, Teddy. You want to get yourself killed?
Just like the beach in Normandy.
Come on, man.
To quote George Carlin here for a minute. First, you're thinking, okay, this guy, he's kind of funny, and he's a little bit... Maybe he's got a screw loose. I don't know. This guy is fucking stupid. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid?
So let's dissect his behavior here.
Yeah, I mean, like, why does everything begin with... like,
just... Are they trying to say that he's lost it? Or is he just imaginative and a little risky? Or, he's got nothing to lose?
Well, I think the idea is that he holds his dad up as his hero.
Right.
His dad...
Do you think that his dad is actually at the stature that he puts him at?
Possibly. I mean, they kind of in the movie, I'm not sure about in the book, make it sound like a little bit of a PTSD situation.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I feel like it's just something that wasn't common knowledge, and he basically ends up going nuts because of all of the people that he saw die and, all of this shit.
Right.
But.
Coping mechanism or not, though, that kid would be on so much Adderall nowadays.
Oh, yeah. He'd be fine.
He had some deep-seated pain in his life, for sure.
He definitely did.
Yeah,
did they say that he had brothers and sisters? Or?
He needed to talk to somebody, that's for sure.
Yeah.
To see his psychologist.
You know what? I know somebody he could have talked to. Ferris Bueller.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Dr. Phil.
Oh, no.
Do you know they have a show on TV that's about Dr. Phil called Bull? You know that?
No.
Remember, before he was Dr. Phil, he was a lawyer's jury analyst. Where he goes in and listens to the jury people talk, and he goes, "We don't want him on the jury," or "We want him on the jury," that kind of thing. He was that was his job.
Yeah.
And there's a TV show about Dr. Phil. It's called Bull.
Huh.
Someone said he's not actually a psychologist. Is that
Yeah,
true?
I don't think he is.
I don't think he claimed to be one.
Dr. Phil and I have a little bit of a...
oh, that's right.
Of a little bit of a tiff.
Yeah, what happened?
A little competition.
Well, I am considered the most famous person from Wichita Falls.
Oh, he's from Wichita Falls?
No. He went to college in Wichita Falls.
Oh.
I fucking grew up in Wichita Falls.
Yeah.
So I am easily the most famous person from Wichita Falls.
Well...
I would agree.
Except for James from Big Brother.
Fuck that guy.
I think he surpassed you.
That is bullshit.
The problem is that some people say, no, Dr. Phil's from here, and it irks him because he had to put in the time in that town.
I will fucking punch James in the face. Is he that little fucker?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. You dress him up like a clown. I'll treat him like a piñata.
About
About this time, Charlie and Billy were playing mailbox baseball with Ace and Ivo.
Oh, shit, I'm out. God damn it. Shouldn't have gone for a wooden one.
What exactly are the rules of mailbox baseball?
So I thought about that, and this was actually an occurrence that would happen in Wichita Falls.
Because it seems very organized.
I never played myself, so apparently...
Are you sure?
I never played. There are strikes, and you can hit some of them, and basically if it doesn't come off, you're out.
No, the one he hit
it's
and
a foul
dangled,
ball.
it was a foul ball.
Because it didn't come all the way
off.
off.
It dangled, right, yeah.
Yeah, so,
And you have to play 9 innings, apparently.
That seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking mailboxes.
That's a lot of
It seems like the locals would shut that down pretty quick.
Well, actually, you know what? That's a fucking federal offense.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
You're tampering with the mail.
Yeah.
Like, that's just check straight into the fucking penitentiary.
Yeah. I can't remember if I had played it or not. If I have, I've only done it once, and I probably chickened out after the first time I hit something. I can't remember if I did or not. I know we were thinking about it. I don't remember if we followed through with it, though.
Once we got 15 and, like, all of 14, I guess, and so we started hanging out with dudes that could drive. Just the shit you would do out on country roads was stupid. I felt bad for people that lived on country roads because we would just do the stupidest shit. But, like, I mean, really know that we played mailbox baseball. I definitely have seen it played before.
In the same car?
Maybe I was the bat boy. In the same car, yeah.
Not the water boy?
And I can tell you exactly whose car I was in.
Oh, sell him out.
No, I'm not going to fucking say it. My publicist told me not to tell anyone.
Have you guys been watching the Mickey Mouse Club lately?
Yeah.
I think Annette's tits are getting bigger.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he's right. I've been noticing lately that the A and the E are starting to bend around the sides.
Annette's tits are great.
Yeah. This is really a good time. It must.
A blast.
Vern didn't just mean being off limits inside the junkyard, or fudging on our folks, or going on a hike up the railroad tracks to Harlow. He meant those things, but it seems to me now it was more, and that we all knew it. Everything was there and around us. We knew exactly who we were and exactly where we were going. It was grand.
This is why this movie is different from, say, a Goonies or whatever. Like these kids have a lot of emotion, and there's a lot going on in their lives, and they're different kids. Like, so let's get back to the Goonies, for example. Goonies are all the same. They're just fucking Goonies. Which, have you figured out what that is yet?
No.
Right, and you're pissed off about it, right?
Still.
So these kids they're all the same. Right. And this is the year they're going to split them up. And that used to happen. The kids would go into the shop classes, and the kids would go into the college classes.
I don't think we should compare movies.
You fuckface, you're the one that started it.
No, but seriously, this movie absolutely has a lot more layers to it.
Yeah, this is like a coming-of-age tale.
Yeah, it's just... I don't get me wrong. The acting, the story was even good.
Rich, I need to tell you something.
All I'm saying was a little bit boring. It was just a little boring, that's all. If it had a little more action into it, like if the stakes were a little higher as they were going down the path that they're going down, I would have been more excited about it at this age. You know, because my favorite movies are sci-fi and action movies. So that's the only reason. I'm not saying the movie's bad. It's not bad. The movie's good.
Had you gone into more action, more scenes like the leeches are running from Chopper or whatever, you would have lost so much more of just this dialogue that it's growing up. I do.
Think that's true.
I do. I actually think that
You're saying that movies like that don't exist, and they do.
No.
Where you have very deep emotional connections with the characters and still have action there. They exist.
Don't generalize what I said. I said in this particular movie.
You know what a more modern movie, and maybe I'm way off, that kind of reminds me of this, that did have a little bit more pieces to it and kind of different like scenes at home and
The
stuff
Matrix?
like that, was The Matrix. Remember that movie Now and Then? It had like Christina Ricci, and it was like, it's a newer than this, but not a new movie. It
sounds
by any
familiar,
means.
but I'm not sure if I've
seen it.
seen
And it's
it.
a group of girls essentially, and it's kind of similar.
Oh,
vibe
Ya
to it.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
I love the junkyard scene. I mean, they're there. They know they're not supposed to be there.
Is a guard dog confrontation required in every coming of age story?
Is that a thing? Did we?
He's talking about The Sandlot.
The Sandlot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We just got one of those.
I actually thought this. So I was going to bring that up. I actually thought this movie did have a lot of similar. Oh, I guess I should say The Sandlot has a lot of similarities to this movie. Like there are a lot of things that go both ways. But I really like the junkyard scene. I love that they're spitting the thing, and what Vern says is so. It's bigger than it is what he says, and then of course you get to first spit on the fat kid. That's just great,
Right.
So I fucking obviously love saying that all the time. And then they get the four tails, and oh man, that's a goocher. That's a goocher, and this is where you really get to know him,
right?
He's freaking out over the fact that they got four tails, and he's losing his fucking mind. And his fucking speech impediment is super cute.
It is.
Some stuff's just bad luck.
I love the as Gordy loses the coin flip, there's anytime Gordy loses anything, Teddy's just like, oh, Gordy just screwed the pooch, and it's just he's like, shut up. So in this movie, and actually I meant to tell you this too in Grease.
Shut up, Richard.
Yeah, did you notice how they put all the cliches in here, I don't shut up, I grow up, and when I look at you, I throw up. He's like, then your mother goes around the corner and licks it up. But the line and the narration here is so insanely good. Finding new and preferably disgusting ways to degrade your friend's mother was always held in high regard.
Yeah, that was good, yeah.
Kid's gone. They're never going to find him.
Not where they're looking.
Hey, I was right, Charlie. They ain't never going to find him.
Would you hold still? You're making me fuck up the snake part.
I'll tell you how they're going to find him. 10 years from now, some hunter's going to go in the woods to take a leak, wind up pissing on his bones.
I bet you $1,000 they find him before that.
But your $2,000 they don't.
Well, asshole. Hey, what's the big deal? Who cares?
Would you two just shut the fuck up? If either one of you assholes had $2,000, I'd kill you both.
I bet they never regret that scar from that Cobra logo thing.
I didn't realize until listening again that was supposed to be a snake. The S was supposed to be like a snake.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like
did you
S
not catch
underline.
Regret.
Oh, from the Milky Way commercial. Nice. I said
it's a real one. That tattoo.
No regrets.
Yeah, there's
there's tons of them.
That one's based off of a real one on the internet. From
Is it really?
years ago,
search No Regrets.
No regrets.
I had a friend named Eric Walker. He's still alive and shit. I didn't mean to be had a friend.
He didn't shoot him.
But he has one of the homemade tattoos on his ankle, and it just says "Mosh."
One day I was at school and there was a group of kids talking about a group of 4 dudes, and they were like, these dudes are so stupid, and they apparently had too much to drink and did homemade tattoos, and everybody got a square because there was 4 of them and there's 4 sides to the square. And I went home and told my brother about the story, and he had the fucking square on his ankle.
No fucking way.
Which he later turned into a cross, and now I think it's just gone.
Your dad has a homemade tattoo on his side of his arm.
That's not homemade.
Never pause on his.
It looks homemade.
It looks homemade.
Yeah, also that's true.
It only has 3 fingers.
No, that happened late at night somewhere from a tattoo artist.
Right.
Who was hammered. And it's supposed to be an angel, but it's just this lady with some nubby toes and 3 nub fingers.
3 nub fingers. It's so bad.
And he never did the wings. I named it Sally when I was little. He wants to get it covered up, but I think I kind of missed it at this point.
People are into what they're into, man.
He hates it.
It looks like a Simpsons character.
It is worse. It's bad.
3 fingers.
Our next junior will be split up. What are you talking about? Why would that happen? It's not going to be like grammar school, that's why. You're taking your college courses, and me, Teddy, and Vern, we'll be in the shop courses with the rest of the retards making ashtrays and birdhouses. You're going to meet a lot of new guys, smart guys.
Meet a lot of pussies is what you mean.
No, man. Don't say that. Don't even think that.
I'm not going in with a lot of pussies. Forget it.
Well, then you're an asshole.
What's asshole about wanting to be with your friends?
It's asshole if your friends drag you down. You hang with us, you'll just be another wise guy with shit for brains.
So I think Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were huge fans of this movie because they totally ripped this scene off.
Yeah?
You seen Good Will Hunting? He's talking about every time I go up to the porch and knock on the door, and the best part of my day is hoping you're not there.
Yeah.
And if you screw this up and don't use your full potential, I'm going to beat your ass or whatever.
Oh, okay.
This is exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean,
they had to have taken it to
It's a caring friend who, well, I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, it's a caring friend who knows that...
But it was way too similar.
He's already being labeled.
It was eerily similar.
This was a super advanced thought process for kids this age.
This was my favorite scene in the movie. This scene right
At that age, you would be like, no, I want you to be in your class. No, you come in my class.
Yeah, very true. But let's get down to the real guts of this.
You think Mighty Mouse could beat up Superman? What are you, cracked? Why not? I saw the other day he was carrying 5 elephants in one hand.
Do you think Mighty Mouse can beat up Superman?
Mighty Mouse is a cartoon. Superman is a real guy.
That's so good. So amazing.
Mighty Mouse was badass, though.
Yeah, he was.
He was pretty badass.
And then Tommy Lee...
I don't know a lot about him.
Tommy Lee had him tattooed on his arm, so I just thought it was the greatest thing of all time.
But John Bon Jovi had Superman tattooed on his arm.
Interesting.
So I'm going to have to go with Mighty Mouse.
I don't know about that, actually. So, they come upon the bridge, okay? And so Teddy says, you guys can go around if you want, but you can meet me over here. I'll be at the end of this, relaxing with my thoughts. You use your right hand or your left hand for that. So good. But this scene is so great. This is the scene that Casey actually was a little bit anxious to watch the movie about this scene. Because she was like...
hate this scene.
Why?
Because it's realistic.
What do you mean?
It seems like they could get hit by the train.
But it isn't real. You know that, right?
I know it is not real. I know what's going to happen. I've seen this movie multiple times, and something about this every single time, just like those kids, like they literally look terrified, which is even worse now watching it as a parent.
I feel like
for the first
exactly.
time. For the first time I watched it as a mom, and now it is even worse than it was before. I know exactly what's going to happen. It freaks me out. It gives me anxiety. I used to live by railroad tracks.
So I think Jerry O'Connell is great in this, but how amazing is...
Wil Wheaton.
How amazing...
Wil Wheaton.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's
just
really good.
Just him, like, getting him up, like, let's go! Run! And he just has to keep doing it.
How can Wil Wheaton be so good at acting at this age and be so horrible
bad,
now? I've seen him in a few sci-fi shows. Like,
he did something.
He makes the sci-fi
He did
rounds.
Houdini, right? He played young Houdini.
I don't know.
He's guest starring in Dark Matters right
now.
now.
I was.
Oh, okay. That's. I didn't think anyone was watching that but me. Yes. So he was in Dark, and he's horrible, right? I mean, he's not good at all.
He's very affected.
I was really good at Galaga whenever I was like 12, and I suck at it now.
It's like he's doing a podcast in the middle of their set. You know what I mean?
Wrong kid died.
This whole train thing, I felt like the train was going 15 miles an hour. And if they had just jumped onto the train, they would have been fine.
I thought about... Here's what I thought about.
There's plenty of room on both sides.
I thought about that. I was like, why don't you just sort
Hang
of
on
like...
to the thing.
Yeah, and it's 3 cars.
Right.
So, I mean... But at the same time, you're fucking
12.
11 or 12, and there's a fucking train, and
true.
you're on a bridge.
That's true.
Like, just the deductive reasoning of like, okay, there are 6 ways I can get out of this. You have 1. I'm going to fucking run.
And when you're a kid and that train comes, it's going 1,000 miles an hour, and you're going to die.
I totally understand all that.
Especially because the kid gets scared.
But you know
his
what?
legs doesn't work.
You know what? You get what you deserve for not planning ahead by moseying along.
I agree. Crawling.
A half a mile an hour.
Just run the whole time.
You just go.
Yeah.
You couldn't. They weren't going to fall in. It wasn't like that much space in between.
I agree. I think you run the whole time.
Yeah, you at least skip.
When they started, they should have just ran.
Yeah.
That would have been the point in the journey for me personally, because we did go on adventures and we did lots of stupid stuff. That would have been whenever I would have been like,
Casey,
you know what, guys? I just remembered, like...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I've got a lot of other shit to do than this, and I've got to go now.
And the poor kid, man, he's crawling along. He's just trying to make it across, and he loses the comb.
The comb.
What was the significance of the comb?
Just to do their hair, so when they got interviewed by the TV.
Yeah, they were going to be on television. The point, though, was...
And he brought it for everybody else.
Yeah, they were like, you don't even have any hair. And he goes, I brought it for you guys.
Well,
so
if he had tucked in his shirt and pulled pull his pants all the way up like Danny Zuko, he could have slid his comb into the waistband.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know that he had seen Grease.
Oh.
The daring escape was great. He knocks them off, and they fall into some rocks, and everything's fine. And then this is...
Who knocked him off?
Wil Wheaton.
So, the campfire scene, the entire scene around the campfire and through the night or whatever is pretty much the movie. This is where it all happens. This is why this is so important to him. This is why this journey... This is where everything starts to make sense. This is why Chris should 100% go to the smart classes, and he stole the milk money, and just all these conversations, because these are the conversations of nothingness that make those nights as a kid the greatest nights of your life, you know?
Sure.
So when you're talking, I'm like, first of all, they're cooking, and I fucking, again, I swear to God, I need my... Jaret says this all the time, soundtrack thing, but he just
Jaret says this all the time,
and so he's like, you better turn that over, Vern. He goes, oh no, this is how I like it. Oh man, he goes, what am I supposed to eat? He's like, why don't you cook your dick? Be a small meal, and then screw you guys, I got it. And I fucking said that the other day fly fishing. My line was all tangled up, and Scott Simons and the fishing guide were down the stream or whatever, and he's just like, I'll be there to help you in a minute, Jared. Be okay, I'm working over. Screw you guys, I got it.
I thought it was really weird when he got the food that he got raw hamburger. I'm like, why is he getting raw hamburger?
Yeah, exactly. I thought about the same thing.
Food.
That would have been me, though.
Yeah, I mean, just ham and some. I mean, and maybe it was just limited what you could get.
I guess they were like, we're gonna have a cookout.
Yeah,
we're gonna make a bonfire
something.
Cookout. I'm not a camper, so that didn't enter my thoughts.
Yeah, me either.
So he
You camp usually get like hot dogs.
Yeah. So they all know that Gordy tells these stories, and we had been hinted at that by John Cusack, who had read the story and had said, you know, hey, it's a great story, I really liked it. And so he starts to tell this story about Lardass, and he goes, his name's Davey Hogan, right? Is that his name? Davey Hogan, I believe. And then Vern just goes, like Charlie Hogan's brother, if he had one. Just like everything out of this kid's mouth is gold by this point. And just the whole goddamn Lardass story is the best.
What's up with the mafia running the eating contest?
Jesus
Christ.
You know, and then the fucking VFWs out there. Boom, baba, boom, baba.
And they stuffed this kid's clothes with...
Well, yeah, because back then they probably weren't like just degrading children by being like, you're going to be a fat kid, we're going to call you Lardass, like, you know. But
that
okay,
could be true.
Here's
but it was obviously just stuffed with pillows.
Here's a devastating reality. Last time I saw this movie, I was very young, and I remember that kid being a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Now that I'm watching it, I'm like,
He's not that
big.
America got bigger.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think that's
it's
what
like
happened.
the McDonald's serving sizes.
America.
Because I'm like, he seems fine, healthy, young chap. He's fine.
I was bothered by the fact that he wasn't eating the pie all the way.
Yeah,
No,
what
he
constitutes
wasn't.
being done with the pie? That was the first thing that entered my
He
mind.
said he was done, so it was done.
Yeah, I'm done. I mean, there's tons of crust. There's a lot of
pie
stuff and
left.
stuff.
I don't think you have to eat the crust, though. I think you should eat the middle portion.
And don't make crust.
Yeah.
You can't just, that's how you make a pie.
Let's make a different
You're
eating
pie.
contest.
Man, they put whipped cream in a pan.
And why can't you use your hands? That
is absolutely true. We've talked about that in Revenge of the Nerds. They put whipped cream in a pan, and it just, or in a little pan.
They put Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
And then put the vagina at the bottom.
Oh, I forgot. No, it was their boobs.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
It said eat a pie, and it was them topless in the
that's
bottom.
my pie.
Oh, okay. Worst barf special effects ever.
I'm getting tired of Betty. Are you kidding me? How could you ever get tired of that ass to gotcha? Wrong. The worst barf effects ever happen in the video for High School Never Ends by Bowling for Soup, based upon this scene right here. So if you would like to see our take on that, we do have Chris Burney vomit on all of the Mean Girls, and it basically turns into a wet t-shirt contest in his puke after he ate a live mouse.
Ew.
And by the way,
disgusting.
he didn't eat the mouse, and the mouse bit the shit out of his lip. True story.
Really?
Oh yeah. What would you do?
Wow, did they test it?
What about 51st Dates and the Walrus? Like, I wasn't buying that.
Dude, so, like, why is everybody barfing blueberries, too? Like,
they didn't all eat pie.
But it did add to the comedy, right? Because it's just
what
like...
kind of festival was it? Was it a blueberry pie fest?
Could have been.
That was... Yeah, I noticed that, too.
And they were...
It was for effect.
I think blueberries were just kind of the thing, because when they're eating, they forgot to get the food, like, whatever, the next day after this cookout, they're all just eating blueberries out of their shirt. So apparently blueberries are rampant.
Yeah.
That's all thing. A complete and total barfarama ensues. So maybe one of the greatest things ever brought to the surface.
That Goofy is definitely a dog.
No, he's not.
No. How can he be a dog?
He is a dog.
He's a werewolf.
What?
He's a werewolf.
He drives a hat and wears drives a hat and wears a car. No, he drives a car and wears a hat.
So what?
So Pluto's a dog, and he doesn't do that.
What?
So
Mickey Mouse is a mouse. He does all that, too.
They're all lichens.
The thing is that they're dogs with a dog that lives outside in a house. So clearly there's like some like really, really bad, mistreated...
Goofy's a dog.
Family
Pluto is a retarded dog.
That's a terrible...
Let's back that up.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened.
What do you call a man dog? A werewolf.
That's true.
He's a man
He's not
dog.
letting go of this.
All right, so this would be a great time to launch into our 5 questions with Dave Murray. Let's talk about Pez. David Murray!
Hey, what's up, Jaret?
How you been? What's going on? What's the deal?
Doing good. Ready for a weekend.
Did you watch Stand By Me?
Did. Watch it last night.
Yeah, and so is this one that you saw when you were a kid, watched a bunch on cable, or?
You know, I've seen it a few times over the years. Last night was probably the first time in about 10 years, though, that I've seen it. So it's been a while.
It's definitely a really cool story and told from a really cool perspective, but I like the fact that there's, the alternate story that goes along with it, with the Kiefer Sutherland stuff, is such a small part, but such a big part of the end. Like, I like how they just trickle that in slowly but surely, and it's kind of like, okay, you realize this.
So it adds weight at
this
the
is
end.
yeah, exactly. But you didn't really need the weight of it during it, because just the kids' relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if nothing else, it's pretty amazing that they could get a cast of kids that so many of them turned out to be great adult actors and really developed.
All right, are we ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
You've done this before, Dave. This is a part of the show where I ask you 5 random questions off the top of my head. Some of them may deal with this week's movie, and some of them may not. At the end of this, hopefully you've gotten 5 of them correct, and then Rich will ask you a bonus question, meaning you will have gotten 6 out of 5 correct. And your name will go onto a plaque, once again, in my house somewhere where no one will ever see it, ever, including me. I don't even know where it is. Neither does Casey.
The taint?
Apparently, it's in the taint. Yes. I'm not. I don't know if you could go maybe on the taint.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go in there.
You could, but it's painful.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, good Lord. All right. Are you ready for this? You've done it before. Here we go. Vern's one food that he could eat forever if he was stranded on a desert island is...
Is this a multiple choice question?
Yes, it is. A, Philly cheesesteaks. B...
it's not this one.
Not B.
Not B. Or C, cherry-flavored Pez.
It's got to be A.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect.
Oh, no.
I thought you would get that one. It's a big quoted part of the movie, and I threw you a curveball right off the top. It is Pez, cherry-flavored Pez.
You ruined
no
this
question
perfect
about
record.
it. You had a perfect
geez.
record. You've never missed a question. And I am sorry to say that you have now. Now, the only way that you can actually redeem yourself is to get the remaining 4 questions right and the bonus question. Then we'll just forget about this little faux pas of yours with Philly cheesesteaks. I will say this. Philly cheesesteaks sound good, but not on a desert island. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'd want, like...
Fish.
Pez.
Pez.
Yeah, but does Pez sound good?
No, it doesn't.
The dry talk.
I just felt like you would go with that one because it was so off the wall. All right. Here we go. Question number 2. The best actor in this movie is A, River Phoenix, B, Kiefer Sutherland. And by best actor, I mean in this particular movie, A, did I say Kiefer Sutherland?
Mm-hmm.
B, River Phoenix, or C, the guy who does the angel dance thing, Teddy?
I'd have to go with Kiefer Sullivan.
It's Kiefer Sutherland, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and give that to you. Kiefer Sullivan is acceptable. I actually was thinking River Phoenix, but apparently... well, I'm just going to be honest. I didn't want you to get too wrong. Question number 3.
The judges have an opinion.
The name of the gang that the guys are razor blading into their arms is Cobras, B, the Mongooses,
It's not B.
or C,
It's never B.
the Butterflies.
I'll go with A on this one.
That is Cobras. That is correct. Very good. You are now 2 out of 3. You're on your way to the bonus question very, very shortly. Number 4, let's get out of this. Apparently, you forgot to watch the movie. Question number 4. This week for work, you will be traveling to A, Denver, B, Los Angeles, California, or C,
Atlanta,
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha,
It's going to be Omaha, Nebraska. That's right. You got that one right. That was the 4th, so you were 3 out of 4. This is your last question from me. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do after this point. You will have to get the bonus question correct yourself, and you are all on your own. And please do not stop supporting our podcast just because I threw you for fucking loop on the best question. All right. Number 5 actually deals with the movie. When the boys are in the river...
I knew you were going to ask about the leeches. Ugh.
Well, that's right. Leeches. That's correct.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Good job. Fantastic. Very, very good. 4 out of 5. We're going to give you a bonus question now, and that will bring in Rich to the show. We would do a drum roll, but we can't fit a drum in here.
All right, ready, Dave?
Yeah, ready.
All right, Wil Wheaton was a better actor in A, Stand By Me, B, Star Trek The Next Generation, or C, when he convinced his super hot wife that he was man enough to marry her super hot ass.
C.
That's correct.
That
is correct. And she is super hot.
Well, that was fantastic, Dave. You got them all right.
There's an asterisk.
I just spoke to the judges. They threw the first question out, claiming that if I didn't have a good character for the Pez dispenser in the question, it did not count, even though that was not mentioned in the movie. It's a fucking technicality. Take it and just run with it. Just go.
I'll take a win with an asterisk. I'm okay with that.
That was right to the question time.
Dave, you're the best. You know it. Safe travels to Omaha, Nebraska. Have a good time. Tell all the girls we said hello.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, man. See ya.
And we're back!
And we're back.
Pez is the last food I'd ever eat ever in my entire life. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, even when it's, even when Everett is trying to eat, like, I don't even think he understands why he's eating it. Like, what the fuck?
It's the worst.
I feel like there are 900 different things that like, the concept of Pez, like, they could put better things inside of.
Right.
I love
For example,
Pez.
For example,
love Pez, or you like the idea
rolls.
of Pez?
Pizza rolls.
I like the candy.
Yes.
But
Pizza roll dispenser.
I just don't understand why you have to put the candy into the dispenser. Does it taste better if you enjoy it that like Mitch Hedberg would say, like, I like candy out of vending machines because candy tastes better if it falls.
I miss that guy.
Yeah, me too. So
He's
much.
the best.
So
No,
much.
I just like the candy. I think it tastes good.
Oh man,
You like
do you
the
chew
Pez
it
candy?
up or do you
Yeah.
just suck it?
Oh, it's the worst.
No, I chew
other
it.
things better in
I
a
chew it
Pez
too.
dispenser type of scenario. Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets.
Yes!
Oh my God,
But not
fucking A.
chicken salad sandwiches.
No, nobody
No.
likes this.
No. Okay, so why was the stealing story so important? I didn't understand why I needed to hear this.
The stealing story was important because when Gordy finds the canteen and he's walking out, his dad says to him, "Hey, you need to find some better friends like Denny."
Wrong kid died.
And he's just like, Chris isn't that bad. You know what? He took the milk money from school.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, okay.
all right.
Yeah, okay.
So then it turns, but the point, Chris's point was, yeah, I took it,
But I tried to return it, but
well,
no one believed me.
First of all, it's like, yeah, I took it, but like they didn't look at anybody else. And then I returned it, and because I'm such a shithead, or because my family are such assholes,
right?
This lady went out and bought a new skirt
with the money.
So it's really important because it sets up the fact that this is a kid who really had to work at it.
I forgot that the dad had mentioned it.
Yeah,
so that makes more sense.
He's been branded with this name.
Branded at the drive-in.
But he did take the money. It's not like people
he did
inaccurately.
But I think it's a good example of the fact that he has a bad family reputation. Maybe his mom and his dad aren't good and his brothers aren't, and he's been taught some bad ways, but maybe he's got a conscience, and that kind of puts him on that path of picking which kind of person he's going to be. So he steals the money and he decides this isn't right, decides to give it back, and he's still branded as a criminal. They're like, sorry, you're still getting suspended for 3 days. You're going to be the thief in the classroom from this point on.
Well,
and that's why he
take the money.
I know, but I'm saying
but she stole it back.
Exactly. He had the
conscience
enough.
She's bad too, but everyone that blamed him was completely 100% accurate.
That's why this is a coming-of-age tale, because he could have taken one or the other path. Clearly, he, at that point, was going to be like, okay, I am a criminal. My family are criminals. We're bad people. I'm going to go work in the shop classes, live in this town for the rest of my life. But the point of the story was him deciding who he was going to be, which we find out later. He picks the other path.
Right, and it's not like he could give it to his dad and be like, Dad, I stole this, take it back, because his dad is a piece of shit, too.
Right.
Obviously, his brother's a piece of shit.
Right.
Yeah, you have your upbringing.
He tried to take the right path, but they wouldn't let him.
Wrong kid died.
All right, next. Why does the deer matter?
Oh, that's what I was going to ask, too. I was wondering what the significance of
because I was like, why do I care?
Okay. I think I have a theory on this. I think it's just all about observation and just experience and sort of like, hey, man, this has been a crazy couple of days. Like, there's all this emotion or whatever. And here, this brings everything back to reality. There's this, it's just a deer. And you're face to face with it. And, I mean, like, look, you can't sit on a fucking railroad track in the middle of nowhere and have a deer come up to you that close. Don't be a dick. You can't have that happen to you and not at least just be like, you know what? The world's kind of kick-ass.
They live in the middle of Oregon. They probably see deers all
I know,
the
but not that.
time.
It's not that close. He's reading a comic book while his friends sleep. He's holding a 45.
Okay, why didn't he tell? Like, I saved it for myself, and I haven't told anyone about it.
I think during the journey you take some things on for yourself, and you give certain things to friends. Like you obviously motion to your friends when there's a leech on your dick. But why would you tell them about the deer? That makes total sense to me.
Okay, I'm buying it.
I'm
on board.
Okay, it says in one of these descriptions that it's kind of a representation of his personality as like this creative intellectual, where this moment might have meant more than if he had ran and told his friends. That he's actually sitting there having this, like, he's the only character that could have related to this.
He was saving it for a story.
Well, think about this.
He had this appreciation that maybe he would go be like, I saw this deer. It turns like, whatever, loser. And
he didn't speak about it until he
was a deer. Calm down.
Yeah.
I got you.
He obviously placed some special importance on it, but I didn't understand what it was.
Yeah.
What's Rich's deal?
I think the deer thing was kind of cool, actually. I bet you there's a cut of this movie without that in there, though.
But I also bet you if I was that age and I was there and a deer, I'd be like, I saw a freaking deer!
Yeah,
like, I would
me too.
Freaked out. I'd still do that, probably.
Or I would just go, there's a deer. Big deal. I've seen one.
And that's why I wouldn't tell you about it, because you wouldn't care.
I don't know. Like, I feel like just if you're in that situation, your friends are over there asleep, you're going to see a dead body. Like, the whole point of your journey is to go and see this dead kid. And you're just sitting on the railroad tracks in the morning.
Life.
What kind of movie would it be if they were journeying to go see a deer, but then he saw a dead body and didn't mention it to his friends and kept it to himself?
Completely different film.
I
thought you were going to go with, there's a deer and you're holding a 45.
Have you ever heard Louis C.K.'s bit about deer?
No.
Oh, it's funny. You should look it up on YouTube.
I will, 100%. Is there a punchline you can share with this, or is this just a fucking FYI?
Tease. It's a tease, yeah.
Okay, good. Have you ever heard Daryl Hall's bit about deer?
The singer?
Yeah.
No.
He fucking wants them all dead because he got Lyme disease.
Oh, really?
From a deer tick, and he hates deer, apparently.
Well, Louis C.K's bit's kind of that. Like that.
Right. I believe maybe they were inspired one another.
Vern, there's something on your neck. Yeah, right. I'm not falling for that one a chance. No, Vern, there is something on your neck. It's a leech. Leeches! Oh my God!
Okay, this was way more terrifying for me in 1986 than it was now. Like, because the unknown is crazy, right?
I can't believe that I have not had a leech before.
Is that a thing? I don't know that we
rivers I've waded through.
Yeah, you've been through a lot of rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Cuomo.
River Cuomo.
It was plural.
Yeah.
I mean, you went through both the Cuomos.
We used to always wade
it's a
through
fucking deep Weezer joke. Nobody's ever told that before.
We would wade through this little creek and go crawdad fishing, and because we'd all seen this movie because our parents let us watch it for some
You're trying
horrible
to get
reason.
leeches?
No, but there was always some kid with a black leaf stuck on their leg, and everybody was they're like, it's a leaf, and then everybody was fine.
So here's the thing: as fast as they're ripping those off themselves, I don't know that I would have paused. As a kid, when I saw this movie, I was like, "Oh shit!" I mean, I fucking feel you, man. That's bad. I get it, but there's no way I would have paused. That motherfucker would have been off the fastest.
You talking about the ball one?
Yeah, it's on your balls.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew.
There. No, he didn't. No, I'm just saying, once he looks down there, there'd have been no slow motion waistband pull.
He's just looking.
It's just been whoosh! I'd have been like a fucking ninja.
I don't think they thought of that. They were taking their clothes off to get them up, but I don't think he knew they were.
I don't think you can feel them. I think they kind of anesthetize. So
no, I get all of that. I'm just saying he looks down there and goes, "Oh shit, Chris." And then, by the way,
no, he panicked.
This is a great fucking. So Chris's dad. That's everybody's best impression of Chris Burney's dad. Shit, Chris. Boy, man, I tell you, he plays guitar. Man, that guy. He's something else. Hey, man, I'll tell you something. Y'all better come over our house. Shit, Chris. He just anyway.
I met him. He is so sweet.
Oh, he is the best person ever. Chris Burney's dad. Anyway.
My dad loved Chris Burney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris Burney is...
My question is, if one of your gang had a leech on his balls, why didn't they all
take turns and lick it off?
I would check. I would check.
They would.
I didn't, right?
What are you saying?
What?
We wouldn't lick it off.
Oh.
Only
would
I
suck it off?
Would I... Dude, I'd have been in there, though. I would pull it off for the guy, for sure.
Let me do it.
No, I would... No, it wouldn't be that. I would just...
Going himself and be like, okay,
I got this.
It's kind of like a fraternity. I'll get it.
You guys are the worst.
Yeah, but when all the blood comes out, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, I totally get
leeches.
I get why he fainted.
I know, but why didn't the other ones...
Yeah, the ones on the chest didn't have the blood.
Maybe a little more blood flow down there?
That's true.
So you're saying he had a boner?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have testicles.
They just didn't get the special effects treatment, the practical effects.
It seems like a... Never mind.
They would all have blood.
That was gross.
Going into this scene,
but he might have really grabbed that one.
Going into this scene, poor Vern.
Wait, before we move on.
No, we're not moving on. We're backing up.
All right.
Poor Vern, he just fucking gets sick of Teddy's shit, and he fake punches him. He's like, you flinched! Super flinching! And then Teddy punches him in the fucking arm.
Isn't that always how it happens?
God damn it! What can you do?
Did you guys do two for flinching?
No.
We did.
God, we did.
We did the circle thing, the circle hand deal.
That still happens at my work every day.
Are you serious? About?
So you can put this little circle.
Hey, look. Here you got that.
And if you look at it, then you have to get punched in the arm.
What the?
You can't look at it.
You poor Texas people.
Okay.
I actually always thought it was really stupid.
The owner of my
all of that
salon.
stuff is stupid. You want to plug yourself?
Am I super? No, I feel like I'm echoey. Am I echoey?
Yes, you are.
You are.
Super echoey.
You're in effect.
Is it from the board?
Hello.
Gone.
I don't know. Hello.
Oh yeah, much better. So you're adding delay or reverb?
I fucking hooked it up and said, "Give me a break." Jesus Christ! I fucking.
Jaret, can you please step it up?
Jesus Christ!
I thought you were a professional. I'm sorry.
I saw last week's issue, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, we have the salon.
I love that you fucking say that, and you're being fucking passive aggressive. I fucking love it. Fucking shithead.
What's Rich's deal?
What were you
Go
saying?
ahead, Casey. I'm sorry, my lovely lady.
I don't remember. Okay, so I work in the salon, and it's gorgeous, and it costs more money than I would ever spend doing hair, like, to get my hair done, essentially.
Right.
So don't come see me. It's ridiculous. But, like, we have these clients, and we kiss their ass, and we feed them champagne, and then we go in the back, and, like, my boss, who owns the place, will be like, hey, Sam, could you just... And he'll hold the circle on his leg, and he's like, oh, God, you puncher! Like, that's the freaking...
That's horrible.
No, it's a whole thing.
That's
She'll, like, send them text
thing.
messages of her, like, doing the same thing.
I feel like her vocals
constant.
are really dry right now.
I kind of think... Yeah, what does that mean?
Roadhouse.
But Two for Flinching was my brother's deal. I've gotten like 1 million for flinching.
I'm so sorry, Casey, that this show has gotten to where it is. So now that you guys know, if this is your first time to listen to Jaret Goes to the Movies, you will notice that Rich and I have the greatest partnership of all time. And man, do we love each other. We have updated our Patreon goals. If you would go to jaretgoestothemovies.com and click on Support Us, you can contribute as little as $1 a month to help us get to our next goal, which is $500 a month. If we get to that, and by the way, for as little as $1 a month, you're going to get a shitload of extra content. Last week, how much was it?
2 hours.
And what? We were doing like karaoke and shit?
It wasn't all karaoke. That was just the very end part. There was tons. We went really long last week.
So once we get to $500 a month, and you're not giving by the week. You're getting content by the week. You're giving by the month. Once we get to 500, we're going to start doing live video broadcasts of the show. And because video's expensive, we're trying to buy new gear, all that shit. Once we reach $750, Rich and I are going to video document the process of us writing a song together, which should be a total shit show and hilarious. All current supporters, even if you donate just 5 cents a month, will get access to the video and a free MP3 of the song. Here's the thing. I'm a Grammy-nominated fucking songwriter, and Rich
is not.
Well, Rich thinks he's the greatest songwriter of all time. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. So we got to get to $750 for that. And again, we have not taken 1 cent from this show ever. We've never withdrawn a cent.
We are saving it.
Any of this. All of this is we're trying to make the show better, bigger, closer, warmer.
You mean I can be getting paid?
Yes. Good.
We got to pay Will.
No, we did not pay Will.
Oh, no.
Nobody's getting paid.
Sorry, Will.
I'm not even getting paid.
Even when they start getting paid, I'm not getting paid. It's going to be super sexist. There's a lawsuit.
What's Rich's deal? What's Rich's deal?
The train had knocked Ray Brower out of his keds, just like it had knocked the life out of his body.
Jesus.
The kid wasn't sick. The kid wasn't sleeping. The kid was dead.
This is why the narration is important. Because you see the kids looking over this kid. They knew this kid. But the narration is important because you now feel what they're feeling.
And we wouldn't know he was dead because he said, this kid's dead.
Shut up.
Oh.
I'm just saying that it's important that, like, that's a lot to put together. It's a lot to process. Like, my son is almost 11 years old. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine, like, him going on a quest to see a dead body. And just
I have yet to process things that are dead.
Right. It's a thing,
I don't do it.
So this is huge. It's a whole thing.
Well, in his narrations through the filter of his adult life.
Right.
Remembering what happened as a kid.
Right, and actually having years and years to process this, go through these friendships, like, get through and he says, later, he says, friends come in and out of our lives, and which is very true. We talk about it all the time. Like, let me think about this, actually. I don't have one friend in my life from my childhood.
I'm an Army brat, so I moved all the time. So the only people that I still talk to, I met in high school.
Lance, whom I've known since I was 5 and who was the original drummer of Bowling for Soup, would be like one that I could... I mean, anytime we were sitting at the same table, it would just be like nothing ever, and we would just go. Maybe Scott Simpson, that my parents adopted when we were in high school, but nobody else from my childhood. I mean, I'm not friends with anybody. I mean, now I'm friends with people who I went to high school with who I wasn't friends with back then.
When I say talk to, I mean on Facebook. I like
that's what I
your
mean
post.
Too. Yeah, I get it.
And like people that I like associate with are people I met after my first marriage, and that's it.
What's cool about being 12, from my experience, is you don't have relationships yet. You don't have that complication and these things that you have these wild emotions and you blow off your friends. I think that's why 7th grade was like the best year of my life. Like I had the best friends. You kind of knew who you wanted to be, what your image was. Like you weren't as confused, but you had these friends, but you didn't have all the complications yet. Then you start getting boyfriends. Then you start really thinking about college. There's like all these complications. That is like the perfect age of figuring out who you want to be and not having the complications of making it happen yet. And that's why being 12 to me was awesome. I think the majority of my friends when I was 12 years old, I could see again and act like nothing ever happened, but I don't speak to them right now because we're all adults, except for Gabe.
The scene made me weepy. It made me weepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did me too. I go back to the time and I think about moving around. And my dad was always going from one job to another job. And we were moving from Oklahoma City to Kansas City to Lincoln, Nebraska to Fort Worth to Houston to Maryland to New York. I mean, 22 times.
And every time that was happening, that was like a pack your room up and move your room.
I mean, we left our lives.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. But you know what? The only constant I ever had was my mom and dad. You know, my family.
Yeah.
And I sat back and I looked at that movie and I looked at all the different things that was going on in that movie. And I think about my kids right now. Patrick was giving me shit last night. He was like, what would you do? There wasn't cell phones. What would you do? You can't be in contact with your kids.
Right.
And you see the kids going across the bridge. That's the kind of shit George and Lori and Greg and I were doing in Lincoln, Nebraska.
And that's why your kids have cell phones now.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, we leave in the morning and not come back till late at night.
That was the thing. I was up at literally at 7:30 or 8, and I did not have to be home until the street light came on.
Yep.
So my mom didn't know where I was, like where I ate lunch, if I did, you know, what we were doing. I mean,
same here.
And I mean, God, those hours went by fast.
I was listening.
I was
listening to a radio show today where it was a radio talk show, and they had a guest on that had written a book about the way we're raising kids today and how we're not doing what you're talking about anymore because you get arrested if you leave your house and leave your kid in your house. Like, let's say you live in an apartment and you go to the laundromat down in the middle of the apartment complex and you leave your 6-year-old or your 5-year-old in your apartment.
They're going to come arrest you.
They will arrest you.
Yeah. You know what's funny is
but back in this time period, that was common. They always did that kind of stuff.
Even whenever I was little, so I'm only 26, but you know,
I'm just a couple years older.
What?
I read an article a long time, not even that long ago, and there was these moms on Lower Greenville, which, mind you, this is a totally different scenario. But I remember reading it and being like outraged and thinking like, that's not that weird. Mind you, if you're in a small town, hometown area, this lady and her friend took their children down to a hotel in Lower Greenville, and they stayed there. Well, then they decided to go out and have drinks and just left the kids in the hotel sleeping. Clearly not okay. Not something I would do.
It should be okay, though.
But the kids were 7 and 5.
It should be okay.
Probably not. But
No, you can't do it now.
No. But
30
I
years ago,
remember
people did that all the time.
Even, I don't know how long these women were gone. They were arrested. They were in big, big trouble. But, like, I remember clearly being 5, my brother being 7. And I remember my mom not being home, whether it be go to the grocery store, 30 minutes away, go to the grocery store, then come back. I mean, that's a 2 full hour trip, you know? Things like that. Like, that would cause outrage. If somebody walked over to a neighbor's house and a 7-year-old answered the door and their parents weren't home and they weren't home for another 2 hours, like, police would be called. I don't think that's wrong necessarily. It's just a different time. But it kind of is funny that it is such a big, big, huge difference because I would never let Everett stay home at 5.
Things have changed, you know? I mean, I'm weird about leaving Jack home at 10, 11.
You're weird about it because the media tells you these horror stories.
That could be the reason.
Which is true, because I read a statistic, and, I mean, somebody please correct me, because I don't...
No, this is actually good.
I've never researched this, like, further, but it says that, like, crime has actually gone down about 30% over the last 20 years, but the media coverage has gone up about 300%.
Right.
So people live in fear. So, like, our kids... We let them go ride their bikes. We let them go do things, like, you know, within this area. And you
have strict rules around where they can go.
What time. They have cell phones. Even whenever Jack didn't, he had a walkie-talkie that was, you know, he can only stay in certain streets. But, like, our kids are, I mean, Jack especially, he's gone. Whenever it is light outside, he has friends, he goes fishing, and I think he's going to be a better kid for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's out there doing shit.
Emma's a teenager. She's on Snapchat. There's gotta be loopholes.
My dad said it, I'm no good. He doesn't know you. He hates me. He doesn't hate you. He hates me. No, he just doesn't know you. He hates me. My dad hates me. He hates me. I'm no good.
The beginning of this scene that you just played for us by
Wil Wheaton
is the only bad acting in the entire movie by the kids.
So you didn't cry?
I probably did when I was a kid, but no, because I was thinking
this is bad
he's
acting.
fucking trying to fake cry, and River Phoenix is so good. Then when he really cries, you know they actually got them to fucking really, because that River Phoenix cry against the tree was real. And then this kid, hold on.
Wil Wheaton.
He actually starts crying for real, and then it becomes okay. But
I noticed it a little bit, but
I don't like it.
The whole time I was thinking, Jared totally cried at this.
I didn't cry. No, you know what? God, it sucks because
Are you losing all your feelings?
No, I just wish I didn't have a preemptive.
My fault.
I wish I didn't have like a preemptive feeling. Is that? I don't know if I'm wording this correct, but I just think you're gonna hate everything, and then and I hold certain things sacred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
because you let me hear all about it.
Yeah, well, I fucking love this movie, and after me and Jeff Hughes and Mike Leach got out of this, we listened to Loudness, and it means a lot to me. You know, and
Wil Wheaton.
It means a lot to me.
Okay, the only time I've ever even heard Loudness reference was by my father growing up. And then one day he was walking around the house singing Walking Wool Crazy Night, and I was like, is that Loudness? He's like, why would you know Loudness?
That's true.
And I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And still to this day, he is the only person that talks about this. Is this like actually a real band? Or
And
you
I
my
wasn't
dad have,
even
like, a thing
singing
going on?
like the chorus. I was singing like, "You come to see the show when you're gonna rock and roll. Come get on your seat." Oh, they're so good.
I've never heard of them.
I've heard of them, but I don't know any songs, I don't think.
Why would I? That's the point. Why do I know their songs?
I don't know. That's weird.
Roadhouse.
All right, I got a serious question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm not kidding. This is an actual serious question.
All right, I'm sure.
Can you be serious for just a second?
I'm always serious.
All right. What's worse? If your child dies and you spend the rest of your life mourning, never getting over it, and basically not living out the rest of your life because of guilt or whatever, or getting over it after a relatively short amount of time and then living a normal life and not letting it affect you, what's worse?
What do you mean? What's worse from other people's perception?
No, what's worse? For
obviously,
a person?
psychologically, you're supposed to get over it, and you got to go talk to some people, and you fucking get over it. I mean, people.
So then you don't love your kid enough. It doesn't affect you enough.
That's the thing.
Well, I mean, think about it.
But that's how you end up in the first situation,
right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So you're actually
this
question makes literally no sense.
My best friend died in 2007. My best friend. And it took 2 fucking years to deal with it. But now I have such glorious, remembrances. Is that a thing?
Memories.
Memories, thank you. And, I don't know. But anyway, I was trying to God damn it, he's got me in a fucking tangent now. What you said aren't even that's not even two things that you can choose from.
I don't think that's a scenario, because if I say the other one, you say, well, what about this? Well, then that puts you in the first scenario again.
And also, sometimes I think there's middle of the road. I think you deal with it as you go, and you live your life as you go. And you have good days and bad days.
Okay. I agree.
Not taking away from your best friend, but I think losing a child is probably
I'm putting it into perspective as far as what I can tell you that I can deal with. And what happened to my grandpa, whatever. It's
what do you think? You're a parent, Rich.
I don't know. I don't know how I
don't think that
I don't think it's a reasonable question.
I don't think that what's worse. Is that what you asked?
Yeah, what's worse?
It doesn't. What is worse on you?
Okay, but here's what you asked. You said, "What's worse, option A or option B, where you move on, everything's fine, but you still feel like a bad." You're just making that same option A. You're never gonna.
I don't even think there's options. Listen to me. I understand his. If we're going back to Gordy's brother died, and he's the fucking star.
Right. I mean, that's the whole point of this scene is he feels like his brother died, his parents don't love him, or whatever, because they're just in constant mourning. They just can't get over it. They can't get past it. I know people do this. But, I know people exist that just can't. I mean, people get divorced because they just can't deal with the pain of losing a child.
Here's the absolute truth to all of this. He is going on his memory of this time. I'll bet you that if his parents were in the end of this movie, and you asked them, hey, what was it like for you guys? It's a completely different story. Your perception of man, dude, I was the fucking fat kid growing up. My brother he was in Spanish Club and all this shit and Raider Crew so I grew up thinking, man, my parents don't like me as much as my brother. But now I'm like, man, my mom took me to drum lessons all the time, and there was this, and that was kind of stupid. But you know what? I'm a fucking genius, and I've got it all figured out. This kid is here going, this is the way it felt to me then. Mm-hmm. His parents weren't fucking going, wrong kid died. That'd be stupid. Obviously they still loved him. His mom passed him the potatoes, for Christ's sake.
Okay, but let's think about it in
this. And he only had to ask 4 times.
And that wrong
but
son
let's think about it in this perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a dream.
Exactly.
Let's walk away from Gordy.
And guess what? Hold on. When he comes out of the room with the cantina...
Canteen is...
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Is this Star Wars?
Sorry, I just got my mind on something else. When he comes out of the room with the canteen... I mean... I think maybe I could see myself saying to my son, why don't you get some cleaner cut friends? You're in his room. I'm seeing the pictures of him with his friends. All of his... your friends are pieces of shit. But in maybe less... I don't know.
Drastic? But more importantly, in my opinion, the most important scenario out of all of these, let's walk away from the from the characters, and let's think, if you're the parents of John Cusack and Wil Wheaton,
Wil Wheaton,
yeah, then maybe wrong kid died.
Oh, wrong kid died.
Oh, okay, that was fucking harsh. You just took there was a sincere moment.
Was a roundabout way of saying she has a crush on John Cusack.
Well, everybody does.
I can only think of Wil Wheaton as Wil Wheaton now.
I know, it's horrible, right?
That's taking He's like over here asking this serious question because
They're both still alive. I went to the realistic one. It's totally
I know,
thing.
but I just thought he like had some ulterior motive that you were going to bring. It's like no more fucking bringing up dead brothers and shit.
What the
like,
fuck?
I don't know. That was like
a good
out of
question.
that was out of the goddamn fucking because I was going to be like,
look how much great
wrong
discussion
kid
we
died.
got.
And like, dude, I can't. Wrong kid died. You're fucking you. That was fucking funny, by the way.
That's terrible.
Oh no! And I'm the bad one.
Yeah.
Well, I have something to say.
Okay.
Because, I mean, going back to what you were having to say, Rich, I don't think any parent should have to ever bury their child.
Agree.
And
at any age.
At any age. And, I mean, I lost a baby very, very young. Had not been born. Very, very difficult on me. My mom and my dad had a child. His name was Gary. Lived, I think, 18 months.
Ugh.
And they lost that baby. Then we go on in life, and our best friends, the year we lost my dad, 2010, our best friends, their son was 2021, middle of Houston. He was murdered. And, you know, at no point in life do I think it's easy for any parent to lose their child.
You know, I think about that all the time. Like, from the time that Everett was born, like, I mean, it's like a constant in your head. Like, that something horrible could happen to this child, and you want to protect him from everything because everything in the world is all of a sudden horrible when maybe it wasn't before you had children, in my opinion, right? Like, you have a baby and everything is fine, then once your child's there, you realize how horrible and dangerous everything is, and you want to protect him from everything. And I kind of thought that, like, after, you know, you have this newborn and they're so innocent and tiny, and then it's like the bigger he gets, like, that never, ever, ever fades ever. And I don't imagine it'll be any different from the time he's 10 to 13, because I feel the same way about Jack and Emma. I mean, I think about them every day, like, that I worry about them in certain situations, and I don't think it'll be different from the time he's 30 to 40 to 60 ever. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, totally agree. I think from the perspective of this particular movie, though, being told as the little brother, like, my older brother died, it fucking sucks, I miss him so much, it crushed my parents so much that they now ignore me. You have to look at it, though, from a different, you know, it's funny, because, like, when anyone goes to your parent, and you say, remember this, like the way that this happened, normally it's them, like, oh, you were doing this, and you're like, yeah, now that's kind of not the way that it was, you know, ever. And this is, I mean, like, its perspective is a motherfucker. Because I remember things way different than my parents do.
Right.
Way different. And I feel like I have a real good memory.
And what are these parents supposed to do? I mean, like, there's clearly a mother who lost her child, and a father who's trying to support a family who just lost a child. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you have a child that feels distant, but what's the mom supposed to do? Like, hang on him and cry? And,
right.
You know, you don't want to put that on your children.
Yeah.
You still have the rest of your family.
Yeah.
The rest of your life.
So you're going to have to isolate yourself to think you're isolating your emotions. And so, but it's funny to put this in a child's perspective and be like, my mom's ignoring me, when she's probably doing the best coping mechanism she can, while also having another child.
She's daydreaming while you're asking about the canteen.
Exactly.
You know? And then your dad who you don't think gives a shit about you, is telling you where it is.
And also telling you that maybe you should make better life decisions.
Well,
and choose your friends.
Which is a thing. I mean,
exactly.
We all do that.
Wrong kid died.
Maybe in his mind, he was trying to look out for him.
Yeah. Well, I think that's...
He's parenting, and while he can, I mean, when he can, in this horrible tragedy...
Comes off as being harsh.
Really shouldn't, you know, I don't know. Like, anytime you compare one to the other, it's bad. But...
Because we're all different.
Well, and also, this is the fucking 50s, man. This is different. We communicated with our kids differently back then. We communicated with our kids differently in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, whatever. Like, dude, we're a long ways away. When this movie was made, it was the 80s. You know, And even then, we communicated differently. I mean, like, now seeing this, you're like, what? Like, we should have coddled this little fucker, like, the whole time. And, like, you know, made sure that he knew that he was up on this pedestal as well. And, you know, yada, yada. I mean, it's a thing. It's just, things change. It's like when fucking, like now, dads are in kids' lives. You know, when we were kids... Even, parents really, I mean, like...
Our dads were working.
Yeah. Or you would go to, like, a Valentine's party at school, and there were no parents there, and now it's, like, all moms. I'm the only dad there, every time. Mm-hmm. At the current school I'm at. Now, at the kids' old school, there's a lot of dads there. So, listen, I'm not saying that... I just have the flexibility to be able to do that. But even then, like, dads are at practice. Dads are at this, you know, like... It's a thing. Dude, my dad never came to a fucking practice. My dad was selling cars.
Well, they were trying to make a living.
Whatever he was doing.
Well, and he had retail hours, too.
Yeah, whatever he was doing. And that should have been 24 hours a day.
Shit, I was the captain of the track team.
I brought it back around.
I was the captain of my track team. Star sprinter. My parents never went to my track meets.
Yeah. My parents never saw one play I was in, ever. And I was all-star cast every single year. What? Yeah, true story. Because, I mean, like, I didn't even think about inviting them.
My parents were at everything.
Yeah.
Like, everything.
That's because you're a fucking pussy. And this movie chimes in on that several times.
But you think about that, too. That was 1959.
Yeah.
Things were way different.
Dude, your dad made a living. Your mom cooked and cleaned. And look at...
My mama never worked. She never worked a day of her life.
Yeah, but they're out there hanging the clothes on the line.
Right.
Instead of putting the clothes in the dryer.
Dennis still does that.
Well, I do
Dennis
know that.
Still does that.
I do know that he still does.
I shouldn't say that. My mom did work. She worked very hard.
She worked her ass off. She had
raising 5 kids.
Correct.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and my dad was running all over the place trying to make a living.
Yes, he was.
What the fuck do you know about this?
Some bitch. My little brother.
He wasn't planning on taking the body from us, was you, boys?
You get away, man. We found him. We got dibs.
We better start running, Eyeball. They got dibs.
We earned him, man. You guys came in a car. That's not fair. He's ours.
That's not fair. He's ours. Well, not anymore. There's 4 of us, Eyeball. You just make your move.
Oh, we will, don't you worry.
Fern, you little son of a whore.
Here's the funny thing. Like, when Teddy goes, there's 4 of us, Eyeball, you just make a move. Like, even if there were 4 of me, like, and Danny, my brother, and Marshall Kipp, or Robert Walker, or Troy Stafford, or whatever, like, they would have beat the shit out of all 4 of us. And I feel like it's around the same age difference or whatever. Absolutely. But fuck it. You know, he was ready to storm the beach.
Did that guy call his own mother a whore?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you little son of a whore. I thought the same thing. Like, wait a minute, you guys have the same... Okay.
By the way, I totally called the no ace, just you. Like,
you knew that was going to happen?
I said it out loud.
Really?
Before he said it, I go, no
that
ace,
has
just
to be a
you.
thing,
And he goes, no ace, just you. And I'm
there's
like,
no way.
Go back.
As time went on, we saw less and less of Teddy and Vern, until eventually they became just 2 more faces in the halls. It happens sometimes. Friends come in and out of your life like busboys in a restaurant. I heard that Vern got married out of high school, had 4 kids, and is now the forklift operator at the Arsenault Lumberyard. Teddy tried several times to get into the Army, but his eyes and his ear kept him out. Last I'd heard, he'd spent some time in jail and was now doing odd jobs around Castle Rock.
I'm never gonna get out of this town, am I, Gory? You can do anything you want, man.
Chris did get out. He enrolled in the college courses with me, and although it was hard, he gutted it out like he always did. He went on to college and eventually became a lawyer. Last week, he entered a fast food restaurant. Just ahead of him, 2 men got into an argument. One of them pulled a knife. Chris, who had always made the best piece, tried to break it up. He was stabbed in the throat, He died almost instantly.
What a happy ending. Jesus Christ.
That was so sad.
No, the happy ending is his kids come in. They want to go swimming.
Oh, yeah.
I never had any friends as good as I did or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Who does?
No, but I just thought it was kind of like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, got stabbed in the neck.
Let's check the Facebook page.
All right, Lance Elias. I can never...
Elias.
It's Lance Elias. He writes this. I love that Rich gets to control the mail.
I put everything that comes in on here.
All
That's
right,
it.
So,
there's no control.
Rich, you are totally 100% correct in the Outsiders episode. When Sherry says that things are rough all over, bullshit. Because no matter how awful her parents may be, she's not sleeping in a junkyard scared of being killed by rich drunk kids.
That's what I said.
Her worst moment was being harassed by Dallas at the drive-in, in which she could easily get into a car and drive home to her very secure house and pantry full of food.
Did Rich write this as somebody else?
So, Rich, I totally agree with you on this, even though Jaret is way more famous, and I've never seen Lost. Okay, this is a great
First of all,
Facebook
go
post.
watch Lost. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, check
show.
out our Facebook page. We're just at Jaret Goes the Movies. And, okay, Lance, let me dissect your message.
I don't know.
This is fucking bullshit.
You touch
First of
sacred
all,
ground, you're in trouble.
he did not sleep in the junkyard because he was scared of being killed by rich kids, you fuck.
That's not what he said.
Yeah, he did.
He said he's sleeping in the junkyard, period. And he has to be worried about rich kids coming and killing him because he's sleeping outside and not in a fortress that she sleeps in.
That's amazing paraphrasing. Here's what it says verbatim. Because no matter how awful her parents may be, she's not sleeping in a junkyard scared of being killed by rich drunk kids.
Right, not because...
Richard.
Jesus Christ,
Look,
Rich.
I wrote this.
Richard.
I mean, Lance wrote this.
All right.
What's Rich's deal?
Yes. Good. On we go.
Guys, this has been an amazing podcast. Thank you so very much to all of our producers and our Patreon supporters. I want to thank Rich for being here, as always, and doing all of the work that goes into this podcast. It makes all the difference, and it makes all of our listeners very happy. Thank you to my Uncle Patrick and my Aunt Debbie for being a part of the show. I love you guys so very much, and I'm so glad that you guys are here visiting us. Thank you to Kiddy Corner Wil for being the greatest new character of all time. And, of course, thank you to my lovely wife, Casey, for being the most beautiful person in the world and for loving me the way that I am. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Stand By Me, episode number 49, which means next week is 63.
So we're not going to do Valley Girl because it's not you can't rent it anywhere. How about we pick some doozy?
That's not 50th
you pick
material.
You pick the greatest movie ever, and we'll do it next week.
Me?
You.
I don't want to do it with you.
You just sent me a list of like 5.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Valley Girl would have been good.
Okay.
Let's do Dune.
Oh my god.
What are you laughing?
Jesus
That's my
Christ.
favorite.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
Pick your 4-hour movie of all time. I don't care.
Jared has lots of favorite
Wizard
things.
of Oz.
Yeah, I fucking have a lot of favorite things. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You want to put it up for a vote?
No, because we don't have enough time. I have to do it tomorrow.
Okay, well, then we'll figure it out while we're downloading this shit.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys so very much for listening, and we will see you down the road.